Hey, what's up everyone, and welcome to my quick review for Creed. I figured I might as well do a review, even though it has to be a quick one, because I want to get a lot of these reviews done before a lot of these other movies come out, like Star Wars and The Revenant and all these other Oscar movies coming out. Oh man, it's going to be one hell of a holiday season. Man, there's a lot coming out, so I have to get these reviews out pretty quickly. I have this, Victor Frankenstein, and The Good Dinosaur I still want to review. So let's get into it, because Creed is a movie I could not wait for. I'm a huge Rocky fan. Huge! I love Rocky. Rocky's my favorite sport franchise ever. It's probably my favorite franchise besides Die Hard. I love Rocky. So I, of course, went back and I bought the Rocky box set, even though I have about 2 Rocky box sets already. Box sets. Did I say box sets? What does that even mean? So I got the box set and I watched the first 3 again. I watched the 4th one as well. But the first 3 is what I really wanted to watch. And I really wanted to watch Rocky Balboa again, because that one has a very similar feeling to Creed. So I watched Rocky Balboa after I watched Creed. And let me just say, the first one is still one of the best movies ever. I love that movie. It's been 40 years and it has not aged. I mean, it has aged perfectly, like a fine wine. It's perfect. I love that movie. Rocky is an amazing film, and the second one is not very far away from it. It's a really damn good movie, and explores Rocky as someone that is not a very intelligent human, and that is what I really like about that movie, because it focuses on Rocky not as just a person, but as someone who hasn't had the best past. So that's what I really liked about Rocky 2. Rocky 3 was just a fun movie because Clubber Lang, Mr. T, is a great villain, and yeah, and that movie gave us Mr. T. So thank you. And the 4th one I enjoyed too, even though it's really goofy. It's very goofy. And then the 5th one was kind of but I haven't watched that in a long time. But that one I skipped over. And then Rocky 6 I watched after Creed, because again, they have a very similar tone. So Creed is a movie I was looking forward to, because I want to see another Rocky. But not only that, I want to see Michael B. Jordan as Adonis Creed. I really did, because I love that guy. Michael B. Jordan is a great actor, and man, he nailed it. He nailed it. This movie nailed it. Ryan Coogler nailed it. The score nailed it. The whole movie nailed it. I love this movie. I love this movie so much. Oh man, the Rocky aesthetic, just what you would expect from a underdog movie, is there. It's not the most unique thing out there, but you know what? This movie proves that you do not need to be the most unique movie out there to be one of the best movies of a year, or, well, not of all time. That's going a little too far, but this movie definitely shows you do not need to be the most unique movie. You just have to have a lot of heart, some great acting, fantastic writing, some great action scenes that are very well filmed. There's a whole one that's just one shot that is so good. There's a whole one take style boxing match that is definitely going to be remembered from now on as one of the best boxing scenes ever put on film. And it's so good. It's so good, this whole movie. And you just have to have that. You just have to have the perfect amount of stuff. It reminds me a lot of The Fighter. The Fighter was one of those boxing movies that had more of the drama than most boxing movies. Where most boxing movies, you know, they have the drama, don't get me wrong, but then, of course, they have the boxing too. That movie wasn't about the boxing really, it was about the drama. This one is pretty similar. It's about the characters, it's about the drama more than the boxing. But they don't leave out the boxing and say, ah, screw it, we'll just, you know, we'll film it, sure, but we're not going to make it anything stylistic or anything. Like I said, they definitely do that in this movie. They make the boxing look amazing. The fight sequences, it's very intense. The score, when it comes up, is so good. There's a part at the end with the whole final fight between Adonis Creed and the world champion, Pretty Ricky Conlon, in this film, where they're fighting, and there's a part where it's the final round, and Adonis gets up, and of course, you know what plays. You know, if you watch Rocky, you know what plays. That score, that beautiful score. Oh, it's such a good scene. there's even a sequence that rivals the Rocky 1 scene where Rocky's going up the stairs of the library, and you know he's doing this fight, dun, 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 all that stuff. And in this movie, there's a scene like that where they play a remixed version of that song, "Training Hard Now," or whatever. I don't know the words exactly. I don't listen to that song like on my MP3 player while not watching the film. I only listen to it when I watch the film, because that's like I can't imagine that song with anything else besides a training montage. But that movie was amazing. This one does a great job of doing pretty much a training montage like that, except with a remixed version of that song. And man, there's so many moments that just gave me goosebumps. Obviously, I'm all over the place. This is an unfocused review, but I'm just going to tell you right here, I absolutely loved Creed. The characters are so likable. Michael B. Jordan nailed it here. He's a really likable character that's very troubled, but you really do like him. He has a girlfriend in this movie that he meets in the film named Bianca, played by Tessa Thompson, who's really likable as well, and she has her own problems and her own career that she's going after, and she's a likable, relatable character. Sylvester Stallone, man, if he does not get an Oscar nomination, he already got a Golden Globe nomination, but he needs to get an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actor because, man, this might be the last time we see him play Rocky, and if that's true, I'm going to be very sad. So good. This freaking movie is so good. Oh, I love this movie. I'm so glad it was so good. And he's great in this movie. There's like 3 moments where I was almost in tears because I was like, man, I love you, Rocky guy. I love you, Stallone. You're so good. Stallone's one of those action guys that can do drama like this. The first ever movie we saw him really in, besides Death Race 2000, was Rocky. And that's what's so good about Rocky. He's such a good actor and a really likable character that is unlike most characters in movies nowadays. He's just one of those guys that keeps talking. He's a guy that's really nice, but he's kind of an idiot, but he also talks a lot. He talks real fast and stuff. And that's why Rocky is such a likable, relatable character. He's such... I love this movie, and he's so good in this. The fighting is great. The cinematography, the way Philadelphia looks, of course, is beautifully shot, even though Philadelphia looks like shit, in this movie at least. I love it. I love this movie. It's a classic. It's going in my DVD collection, and if they have a special, or my Blu-ray collection, because that's what I buy now, and hey... When they come out with another Rocky box set that includes this, I'm going to be buying that one too because I love this. I'll be watching all the behind the scenes. I'm going to be watching everything. I'll be watching the sequels. I love this movie to death. I really do. I have no problems with it. If there's any problems I could think of, maybe the Bianca character could have been shown a little bit more towards the end. Because you know how in Rocky 1 you had the whole scene where Rocky lost and... he didn't really care because he was just looking for Adrian. He didn't give a damn that he lost. He didn't even hear that. He was just like, Adrian, where are you, Adrian? In this movie, it's, you know, she's just there. That's probably the only problem I have with it. But besides, it ended. That was my other problem. It ended, and I had to leave the theater. That was my other problem. So Creed, I freaking love this movie. It's one of my favorite movies of this year. Such a good year. I mean, such a bad year too, because there's some bad movies, but there's such a good amount of movies that were amazing. I'm going to give this a 40 out of 40. I love this movie. I realize this wasn't a quick review, quicker than most of my reviews nowadays, but man, I love this film. You have to go see it. Go see it. If you don't go see it, thank you and goodbye.